No refresh.
Huh? Hello, anyone here? Hi.
Hello. Still
Hi.
everybody in here? Welcome to the Coco Joe BARF BARF Live Talk.
Hello. We'll be doing this in English today because yesterday we did the Chinese one, and then today we're fully in English. Hi Desiree.
Hi Felicia.
Felicia.
Hello.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you for watching our Live Talk 1.0.
Hello. Please share our page, our live sharing this sharing to any group or your own page.
Yeah, actually, today we have a lucky draw for our lucky draw section will be on tomorrow night. So yesterday actually is our first section for the Chinese version, and tonight will be the English section. So we will talk about the BARF diet. So the first topic that we will talk about is the myth and fact of raw feeding, and of course it's for BARF diet. And the second topic we will talk about is how to self-handling BARF diet.
Okay, then later we'll introduce you the prices and all that. If you the more you share, the more chances you get to win. We'll put your name as many as the sharing into our lucky draw. The more you share, the more chances of winning. Hi Aiden. So is the line okay? Everything okay?
Can hear our voice? Everyone okay? Okay. So today actually we also need your help to help us to share this live broadcast to your group or any to your homepage, because if you share our live broadcast to your homepage, you will get a chance and stand a chance to win the lucky draw. So we will compile the yesterday and tonight. So tomorrow night we will do a lucky draw section.
Yeah. And then we will actually basically why we are doing this live show is because first of all we have a lot of inquiries about our products during this MCO. Then we basically text them and answer the question. So we thought of like if we do a live show like this to explain to people what is BARF diet, it will be easier for you to understand and also easier for you to interact with us. And then during this period, usually we have exhibitions, and then exhibition has been all
due to the
cancelled.
MCO.
Due to the MCO has been all cancelled. So we are. Sometimes if in the exhibition you meet us and you probably ask us about BARF, and then we'll answer you. And maybe you have some question, but you don't text us, but you meet us in the exhibition. But there is no exhibition at the moment, so we are doing this live show to explain, and also to if you have any question later, we can answer all of them. Hello,
Hello. Hello, Christine.
Petra.
So for those like yesterday, you already joined us yesterday for the Chinese section. We also appreciate that today you can join us as well. So or maybe some of you like yesterday you asked a lot of questions, but because like due to the too many questions,
we didn't answer all the questions. There's overwhelming response and a lot of messages actually last night. Then we managed to answer all of them already. But if I miss any, if we miss any, please message us again.
Yeah, you can also send to our inbox. Let's say like we really didn't answer your question during the live broadcast, you can send to our inbox. We will try our best to answer you within one day lah. Okay. So during the MCO, how are you guys doing with your fur kit at home? Actually, I saw some of the very creative owner that took the very cute video or pretty video with the dogs at home.
So a lot of activities with our pet fur kids because usually we don't have time, on weekdays. Now we have a lot of time to spend with our fur kids.
For me, like usually like busy in work, and then after work maybe we go to exercise. So sometimes back home already night already. So we have only very small
window
time,
period to play with them. And
So this is actually the time is like very
hello, Doreen.
for us to like join and like interact with our furry kids.
Then
So actually our live broadcast is on 8:30. So we are waiting for more
people to
come
join
in
us then before we start.
Yeah.
So we are anything that we can share with you at the moment, or anything you want to ask us.
Yeah.
We can also
answering you.
answer you now. If you hear dog barking later, it's actually all my dogs, so hope you don't mind. I'm asking my maid to actually control them below. They'll be barking. Or if there is internet interruption, barriers, sometimes it can happen. And then
Okay. So now it's going to 100. Yeah, really happy that you can join us as well. Hi Pepper Milk, I know that you joined us yesterday, and thank you that you joined us today again.
So I want to show you our boss Coco. Coco is
this
here.
Coco. Okay.
It's a bit hard to see right now.
Hello. Please help us to share our live broadcast today, and you will stand another chances to win the lucky draw. So our lucky draw will be on tomorrow. So this time we have like many prizes to give away, and our prizes like total prizes is worth more than 2,000 ringgit of Malaysia. Hi Elisha. Hi Elisha, thank you for joining us again.
And if you joined us last time for the Chinese session, and
Yes.
then we didn't answer your question,
Yeah.
or you feel left out, you speak everything in Chinese, today we're doing it in English. And we do that because yesterday if you do it in dual language, probably we'll get stuck, and then I will be like, my tongue will be twisted and that get stuck. So we plan to do it separately.
Yeah.
And then if let's say we didn't answer you all your questions, you can actually inbox us later on, and it's totally, we will reply you as soon as we can.
But some of the question maybe we already let's say you ask already, put in our comment box already. Actually we see already. So actually, but it's covered in our.
We will
topic.
cover most of the topic.
Yeah.
But if you miss it, or you can still message us, we to answer you.
So I think it's almost 30 already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start our live talk today, so we would like to share with you our prizes. So the first of all, I want to show you our big prizes. We have totally 6 big prizes. So this is the first prizes. So this is a high quality pet bag which is worth about 200 ringgit. This is a Disney series one. Okay, so this is the first prize. Okay.
And then this is the dog bed.
Yeah.
That
This
can
is
make into like a little dog
Yes.
house, and then the dog can be inside.
So this one we have 2, okay? And beside the pet bag, actually we have another 3 big prizes, which is Coco Joe BARF worth 200 ringgit. So you can mix the flavor and pack size along as it's around 200 ringgit, and we can deliver to you. And all the prices we can deliver to you without the courier fee. Okay?
No extra courier fee.
So-
So bear by us. Everything will be bear by us.
So for everyone who share our live broadcast today or yesterday or our event poster to any group or your page, you will stand a chance in this lucky draw 1. And our lucky draw 2 is 15 prizes. So the 15 prizes is this charming pet toy, worth 39 ringgit 90 cents. Okay. And also we have another 5 prizes is Coco Joe BARF worth 100 ringgit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we hope that you can interact with us, because the second lucky draw actually is if you say hi with us, if you interact with us during this live show, you put any comment in our comment box, you will stand a chance to win this lucky draw prize.
And Charming Pet is actually a toy marketed in Walmart in US. So this is a very high quality toy.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we can.
Yeah, maybe we can start already. So it's 8:30. Please help to share this broadcast. Thank you.
So over the years, actually,
Yeah.
we have been doing this BARF diet for 7 years, selling this BARF diet for 7 years, and then we have been feeding our own dogs about 17 years. So 17 years ago, we started making for our own dogs.
Yeah, actually, I still remember in 7 years ago, there's a pet event in one Dharma Park. That one is our first roadshow. So actually, we just brought 60 pack of the 300-gram sample, just want to give away for people to try. But eventually, we can't finish to give away all the 60 pack.
We give it for free 7 years ago.
Yeah.
People don't want to take it because BARF diet is something very new to Malaysia.
Yes.
Even now, it's not so widely accepted yet. We are doing our best to promote and to explain to people. And then, as he said just now, and Benson said just now, during our first outing in One New Park, we give out samples. People still don't want to take our samples because they are worried about raw food.
Yeah.
So now it's a lot better. We have a lot of people using now, and acceptance level has increased, but there is a long way to go yet. We still need a lot of work to explain to people, to let people understand and how to manage the raw food. I think BARF diet will be probably the hardest thing to sell in the market if you are in pet industry. We have to cover a lot of things. There are a lot of worries. There are a lot of technical things that we need to explain so that you will do it correctly. And then we have a lot of topic to talk about today, but we will make it exciting, and we try to make it exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, so initially the acceptance level is very low. Yeah, but until now, I think like since we are promoting the BARF diet like to every event, like to social media, so now the acceptance level is okay already. But just like they still have new pet owner in the market when they just have a dog or cats, so they're still very new to the things. Yeah, when they talk about raw food, they will, why are you feeding raw food? Is it got any, like, they have many questions. So this is also the purpose they want to share with you guys tonight. So the first topic that we want to talk about is the myth and fact about raw feeding. Yeah. So as Sam, like you, before we serve our pet the raw food, we also have many questions in our mind. Even like Mr. Ang, in 17 years ago, before he started to making this recipe for the dogs and cats, he also like to think many questions like you.
Yeah, because my background was in medical technology. I used to work in human lab or hospital lab, and then my training was that, and then also I was certified by American Society of Clinical Pathology. So I'm a bit OCD. I will wash my hand a lot, when you touch something raw. So it's a bit hard for me to accept raw food in the beginning also. Took me some time. But the reason I started this is because we had a dog that is Shih Tzu that has skin problem. He's got mange issue. And then he is in and out of the hospital a lot. And then most of the time, dog with mange is easily treated with ivermectin, but he cannot. He has somehow got other issues, and then he cannot recover very well. So it has been like a few weeks without any real food. He's like struggling to eat. So we try to find things that we can help him. So eventually we found this Dr. B from Australia. He has got an article about raw food. Dr. B is actually the father of BARF. Actually, this raw food concept started by him. He's a vet in Australia. He said he's talking about humans should be on natural food, dogs should be on natural food too. So this is how his concept is. And later I'll explain more. So with raw food, I actually, that dog, his name is Strike, and then I bought a chicken wing for him to try, and he took the whole chicken wing. And then in that moment, I have this light bulb moment. I really realized that dogs should be eating something natural and raw like this. They should not be eating something processed. So from there onwards, I start to research more, and then I come up with all this our own recipe. for our own food dogs. But I never thought we were going to do this business actually.
Yeah.
We never thought we are going to into this business. And then even when we started doing this business, I thought we are going to have like 10 freezers in Klang Valley, that's it. And then we are not really looking to be like very big, but now we have 160 freezers in the whole peninsula Malaysia, so it's a great achievement for us.
Yeah. So like even though in the last year, right, we also like very lucky to get the #1 healthy pet food in Klang and Selangor.
Wow.
So this also is a very good momentum for us to keep like trying to.
This
work
was
on.
a thing run by Telepress, and then we got the #1 status after all the voting. Thank you everyone for voting for us.
Yes. So of course, like we have over the year we have summarized the man curious,
Because
question.
over the years we have a
Many,
lot of questions from
customers.
customers, and then we answer them, and some of the really
Really,
main ones
yeah.
we will answer them now.
Yeah. So the first question that we have always get from our
It's a myth.
Yeah, the myth. It's like if your dog eat the raw food, will they become very aggressive and bite the owner?
If let's say if you're saying that if the dog is on raw food, will he become like more aggressive and bite people? If this were to happen, I would have died earlier because I have so many dogs, and then they are on raw food all the time. So actually, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. If a dog is aggressive, basically his temperament. It's either he's born with or he like learned from it. So all dogs should be socialized, especially the very fierce ones. They should be socialized as much as you can so that they can get along with people, other dogs. So it's nothing to do with food actually. Yeah. So if let's say something I always ask people, if they ask this question, I will say that if you feed cat food to a tiger, will the tiger still bite you? Of course he will, because the tiger is a wild animal. Even you feed him cat food, he will still be aggressive. So this works that way, and then even dogs that are on biscuit can still bite people. So aggressive dog and raw food doesn't match at all. It doesn't work that way. Okay?
Yeah. So the logic is like raw food will not like cause aggression in dogs. So okay. So this is the first question that we always get from customers. So the #2 question is like as a human, right? We cannot eat raw chicken and like other raw meat except the salmon then those like sashimi. So if you take raw chicken meat, meaning like very small pieces, maybe the next day we will get stomach upset already because our stomach cannot handle the raw chicken meat and other raw food, right? So why the customer or the pet owner, you will also think that why the dog can eat raw food? Does it cause any bacteria inside the raw food?
Okay, anyway, raw food will contain bacteria, but what we do is we actually freeze them at -20. So this will kill off any live bacteria. And also the thing about bacteria is that they need condition to grow. Okay, for example, if let's say you leave a piece of meat on the table and then for a few hours, the bacteria may start to grow and put in toxin inside. So that this happen in human food. For example, humans get food poisoning all the time, but they are on cooked food. But why are you still getting food poisoning? It's because if that piece of meat is contaminated and bacteria start to grow already, the toxin is already inside. Even you cook it, the toxin will be there, and then you will get food poisoning from it. So the key thing is still the freshness of the ingredients. So we use very fresh ingredient, and then we grind them, and then we freeze that at -20 to make it safe for dogs. And dog stomach acid is very strong. That means it's very acidic, and they can handle the residue bacteria that may be in the raw food, frozen raw food. But if you defrost in like 4 hours, within 4 hours, you feed your dog within the 4 hours, there shouldn't be any excessive bacterial growth, and then there shouldn't be any problem if you are going with our food.
Yeah, so actually the key thing is like to use like human grade ingredient and very fresh ingredient to minimize the food bacterial contamination. So like in Coco and Joe, we use like human grade ingredients in our recipe. Yeah.
Okay. Then I see someone talking about hypogenic food and all that.
Okay.
We will answer.
评价 say vets say eat hypoallergenic still no good. Yeah, okay.
And then later we'll answer you one by one about the
And we saw something, it's like how to screenshot. Yeah, when you share the post, right, it will appear on your homepage, or if you share to the group, so they will appear on the group homepage, so you can just screenshot, then you can inbox us, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Cici.
So
the third question that we always get from our customer over the past 7 years is like, if dog eat raw food, will they cause them like diarrhea?
Okay, when you first started feeding your dog raw food, there may be some detoxification, and then dogs may have diarrhea. Okay, may only, because most of the time there isn't. Actually, by right feeding raw food, the poo is actually smaller, drier, less smelly. However, when you first started feeding them, it's like a vegetarian started eating meat, or a meat eater started eating vegetables. You have detoxification, and during that period you may have diarrhea and all that, but it's only temporary, and then most dogs don't get that. It's actually quite safe to feed raw food to dogs. And then so you can definitely try it, but you may have to try it slowly for the older dogs.
Yeah, so actually this thing is like you have to slowly switch, especially for senior dog. You can try maybe like serve as a treat first initially, and then start from 1 meal, and then initially, and then later switch to 2 meal.
Okay, the thing is about this is, don't mix with biscuit together. If let's say you have let's say in the same meal, you can feed them separately, it's fine. If you mix them together, the digestion time is a bit different, and then they may get confused and they get diarrhea. But if you feed biscuit in the morning or food at night, it's fine, totally fine.
Yeah, and some owner they will ask as well, like since you are serving a raw food to dog, right? So what is the difference between when I go to a market to buy a piece of chicken breast and I put in some veggie, serve to the dog? Will they be same like serve like BARF diet? Will it be a BARF diet is a nutritionally balanced diet for dogs?
Okay, so this comes down to the question of like, what should a dog eat? Okay, if you see wolf and dogs, they are from the same family. Wolves are eating, like if they catch a deer and then they kill a deer, they'll eat the whole animal, the bone, the skin, the meat, and also the intestine, also the half digested grass, and also the organ meat. So this is what they get, the nutrients they get. So if you feed your dog just chicken breast and rice and some veggie, probably it's not balanced. Because you need minerals in the diet. It's not just meat alone and then on rice. And most dogs cannot really digest starch as well as human, because they don't have long acting amylase, so they can't really digest starch so well.
Yeah, so and sometimes customer are also asking, since this is a nutritionally balanced dog food, right? So do they need to add any supplement like fish oil, coconut oil, or any other supplement to the food?
Our food got no supplement. We don't put additional supplement. We believe in whole food concept. But if you need to supplement your dog, you can do that. You can either add fish oil, coconut oil, and then you can add like some things like
probiotics,
probiotics.
But one thing very important we need to address. So for probiotic, you don't just like some customer, if you mix together with the raw food, maybe the dog will like have gas in the stomach.
Because what probiotic is actually powder, it needs time to activate. So you put water, and let's say you put in our food and feed it to the dog, there may be gas, and then some dogs may vomit with the BARF together. So if you are to give probiotic, give it on an empty stomach, and or earlier on before you feed our food, because it may have the interaction and then there may be gas. But if you feed yogurt, let's say plain yogurt that has got live bacteria, then the gas is not there, because you don't activate the bacteria. You don't need to activate the bacteria. But if you're feeding probiotic, you will need time to activate. So that's why there will be gas if you feed probiotic.
Yeah, and some customers, they will think that since this is a nutritionally balanced dog food, let's say I can add some of the supplement. So how about if I feed the dog treats? How many portions do they need to serve to the dog?
This one comes down to the point that I need to explain is, just now we are talking about a dog diet include like bone and meat and all that. It's not a whole food diet. So they need raw bone in the diet, because originally this BARF diet stands for bone and raw food. Dr. B started it as bone and raw food. Eventually it became biologically appropriate raw food. So bone was the thing for him because it is very important for dogs because of the collagen or the minerals that may be that is inside the bone, and that will help with the skin and coat and all that. So with the raw bone and meat together, there will be a calcium phosphorus ratio balance. We actually tested our calcium phosphorus ratio. So if let's say you are giving a treat that is high or a supplement that is high in calcium, then it may offset the whole balance. But normally it shouldn't be a problem if you are giving other supplements. Just don't add additional calcium. There are about treats. We all give treats to our fur kids all the time. We train them with treats and all that. So treats is actually very important in our dog's diet because we do that all the time. But you just imagine if you have a Pomeranian that is like 1 kg plus, and then you are giving him a whole piece of treats, then it may offset the whole balance of the diet. But if you have a German Shepherd, you give the whole piece, it's fine, totally fine, because it won't interfere with the whole balance. So you have to watch out for that, and then it's usually I would say about 10 to 20% of the normal diet should be the treats. Shouldn't be more than 20%.
Yeah. Oh, if say speak louder. Yeah.
Oh,
okay, we will try speak louder. Okay.
Cannot hear me,
okay. So now we're going to another myth, which is like people like always asking the question to us, which is like when some customer they are already feeding BARF diet to their dog, but in between when they go to the vet, maybe do the vaccination or like meet the vet. So sometimes they will ask the advice from the vet, but sometimes vets disagree for feeding BARF to dogs. Or some customer they are planning to feed BARF to dog, but before that they also ask advice from the vet, and sometimes the vet will disagree for feeding raw food. So what is the reason that most of the vet in Malaysia sometimes they will disagree feeding BARF diet to dogs?
But okay, then we have to start with this. A lot of holistic vet over the world, holistic vet over the world, they do agree with raw food. But in Malaysia, it's a bit new for us. We need time to explain to vet, and then we need time to accept. But mainly vets are worried about bacteria. I explained about bacteria just now. Actually, bacteria is actually what they are worried about, but the way we do it and the way the freshness of the ingredients covered that issue with bacteria. You don't really have to worry about bacteria. But the second thing that is really usually worried about is actually no nutritional facts testing, whether your food is really balanced. We do send our food for testing. So we have that calcium phosphorus ratio testing and all that. That is it's a balanced food for dogs. So you don't have to worry about that. And one of the most important thing that vets are really worried about is actually if you depend too much on one thing. For example, you say this is actually a feeding raw. That's it. I'm not going to see a doctor, because sometimes they need to see a doctor. They need to see a doctor to test whether they have problem. If let's say for example you have an infection, you need antibiotics. You have a fungus infection, you need an antifungal. So you still need to see a vet. So some vets are worried if you depend too much on this, and then you don't go and do proper treatment, and then your dog may suffer. So that's why some vets are worried about.
Yeah, and very surprisingly, it's like last 2 weeks, we have a customer that inbox us, ask inquiry of our product, and then we ask who recommend you to try BARF diet. Then I said the vet asked her to contact us. So we're very surprised that maybe there is try many solution, maybe like try many
maybe
food.
they try other food, but it didn't work. But so they try ours, and then he sees some results, so he recommending our food to his patient. So actually it's better now compared to 7 years ago. We have vets selling our food also. So it need time for us to explain to them, and need time for them to accept. But you can also try out, and today we're going to explain everything so that you don't face any issue feeding our food.
Yeah. And as we can see in the market, right, that we have many range of the dog food. We can see one range is like for puppy, for adult, or for intermediate dogs. But people were asking, then why BARF diet? Like we only have one range. We didn't like puppy, didn't like do puppy range or adult range.
So basically the idea is wolf in the wolf society, if they go and hunt for the puppies, they actually carry the food back in the stomach. That means if they kill something, they eat the whole thing, and then they went back and regurgitate out for the puppies. When the puppy lick the face, they will regurgitate out. This is why puppies love to lick our face, because they want food. We are the food provider. So wolf society don't have puppy food or adult food, so it's the same. So based on this, we are only, the difference is the percentage and not the different products. So we are using the same product for adult and puppies, but the percentage is different.
Yeah. So and the next question and the next myth is like, some customer, they are trying for their dog for some time already, maybe like for half, like when they just started trying the time. So maybe like 2 weeks time, they notice like the dog, maybe the stoof a little bit soft, or maybe there's some rest on the body, so they start to worry already. So is it that is a normal, like normal thing? Yeah.
Okay, just now we touched a bit about detoxification. Detoxification may happen when you switch to natural food, and then usually detoxification is very mild. It's like pimples, a bit of soft stool, and a bit of vomiting, and it may happen during the first month of the feeding. So, but you need to rule out whether it's detoxification or not. Sometimes the detoxification is usually is not serious.
Yes.
It's usually very mild, and then but if it gets serious, it could be other things. But just imagine, dog's stomach acid is very acidic, and if you change it too fast to our raw food, and then they may not be able to accept our food, because if they are fed on biscuit, their stomach acid may be more alkaline than the raw feeding stomach. So need time to adjust. So sometimes this can happen during switching over.
Yeah.
So we actually.
How about him? Can I feed it to my dog while still a bit icy? Yeah.
Okay, you can feed it cold, because depends on your dog's liking. In our weather, actually it doesn't matter if you feed it cold or warm, because dogs like it cold because of our weather. They don't have sweat gland, so they cannot get rid of heat so efficiently as human. So they get it through the mouth and tongue. So that's why their mouth is always open, because they need to get rid of the heat. So if you feed them cold food in Malaysia, it's fine, because they need this. But it's up to your dog's liking. If you think that, let's say your puppy is small, or there's an older dog, you need to warm up the food. You can actually put the food in a steel bowl and put in hot water. The whole bowl in hot water, and then you warm the food up without cooking it.
So actually, it still depends the dog preference. Like we have many dogs. Some dogs they really like when it's still like some icy format. So usually, if you saw our Facebook, we have a lot of photos that we cut into a cube. Then that is a semi-defrost, and you also can serve like in fully thaw.
Okay. Then the thing probably we didn't touch about is some people ask us, do we need to fully immunize our dogs before we start feeding raw food?
Yes.
This is also a myth, because we start our puppies at 4 weeks old. As long as you deworm your puppy, you can start feeding this raw food without any issue. And the vaccination is for viruses, so it doesn't matter if you're feeding raw food or not. It's fine as long as it's dewormed. Then because of why puppy has got worms, because mother passed it to them. They haven't been outside, but they get the worms from the mother. So puppies need to be dewormed like every month until they're 6 months old. Then it's every 3 months. So this is like the standard procedure. And then if you see your dogs don't have appetite, or they are losing weight, it could be worms. Worms can be from the environment or from the mother, or the food. But if you're worried about our raw food having this parasite, we freeze it at -20, so live parasite will be there actually. And then we don't use pork in our food, because pork may contain pork tapeworm and trichinosis. These two are, and some of them cannot be killed by freezing.
Yes. So deworming is a very important step when you want to, even it doesn't matter you feed raw food, cooked food or other food. So as long as you deworm your adult dog like every 3-4 months, so that they can have better appetite and absorb all the nutrient. So we saw one question from Electing, like one of my dog has really bad reaction to chicken and probably grains. Is this bath okay for my dog? Should now take Apoquel to ensure the allergy is under control.
Okay, about allergy, because sometimes allergy is a very big topic. Your dog may be allergic to something that is in the environment or in the food. Okay, so actually if you are worried, actually can do the allergy test. But if you are saying that your dog is allergic to chicken, then you can try our duck series, our duck, turkey and rabbit. These three has got no chicken
free,
in,
yes.
they are chicken free. They are for dogs with they are sensitive to chicken. So you can try that without try that first, and if it didn't work, then you may want to do allergy test and allergy test, so that we can actually cater a special recipe.
Yeah. Now we have a customized recipe for those dogs like very high,
very
sensitive.
Yes. They have allergy report. We can do the food based on the allergy report.
We should customize the recipe.
But
only
you have to
for
do the test first lah. But if your dog is on Apoquel already, you probably need to off Apoquel before they do the test.
Testing.
Because if you're on Apoquel, the test may not be accurate.
Correct.
Because you are suppressing the immune response. They actually test the antibody.
Okay, Awa Heng also drop a question here. Is it better to rotate the protein? Yes, actually we encourage you to rotate the protein. Like we have 6 recipes. As long as your dog is not allergic to certain kind of protein, you can rotate, because like trying different kind of protein for your dog, they can absorb different protein source and also different nutrients. So this is also the theory of BARF diet, because you can see a wolf, they are going to hunting. It's not every day they hunt the same type of the deer, so that the way they can also get in the different type of protein and also different nutrients.
Okay, Milk Low say, can I mix feed with other cooked food? If you are giving cooked food, it's fine, because cooked food is still natural food with our food together, is fine. But if you are giving, like say, biscuit, then you may need to separate them. It shouldn't be in the same meal. It should be separate. And then I see something about Singapore. We cannot go to Singapore yet. We need a bit of time, especially during after this MCO. Probably will take a bit of time before we can even go there. We will work on it. But raw food to go to another country needs a lot of paperwork.
And So Litio stroke a question. Is your rabbit recipe is single protein source? No. Our rabbit recipe actually is our premium recipe, which is combination of rabbit, duck and mackerel fish. Yeah. So but our duck recipe is single protein recipe.
You can try that for your dog, the duck one, and then if you need to, if you have the allergy report, we can actually do the customized one for you.
Yeah, you can try the duck one first, because duck actually is a novel protein and also is a single source protein. So let's say your dog, after they try the duck one getting better, you can slowly introduce other recipe for your dogs. Okay.
Lynn is here also.
IGD.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you still have any myth or any question about raw feeding you can ask here tonight? So we will try our best to answer you. But first thing is like, I still want to mention here is that please help us to share this live broadcast, because we want to get in more people to join us, so we can share and explain the benefit about raw feeding and BARF diet. Okay, so for those who sharing our live broadcast today, do your own homepage or do any group, you will stand a chance for our lucky draw, and our lucky draw will be on tonight 8:30. Okay.
Maureen could say that later we will touch on the how to safe handle the products later on,
and also the feeding guide,
how to portion it, and then I will explain it later.
Yeah.
And then okay, we
yes, since that I think some of the question we already answered, but later we still have another Q&A section. Okay, and our third topic, the third part. Okay, so if let's say now we already like to answer most of the question.
Actually we will start talking about the facts of
raw
feeding.
Yeah.
Okay, basically why raw? Why do we need raw food for dogs? Okay, raw food has got, it's actually, we can go back to that wolf and dogs thing again. Wolf are relative to dogs, and wolf are eating raw, and dog system is for raw food, okay? And then raw food contain natural enzyme to help with the digestion. So it will digest the food better than if you feed them processed.
Processed
Let's say if you eat processed food, you need to have your own enzyme to digest the food. So raw food has got enzyme. One example will be kimchi. Kimchi, the Korean kimchi, is a raw veggie preserved naturally with certain ingredients like and then the enzyme is released. So if you eat kimchi, it's very easy to digest. If you compare that to dogs eating raw food, it's the same thing. So raw feeding will help the body to digest better, the food better, and without stressing the body. And also raw food that contain all the natural nutrients. If you cook it, you process it, the nutrients level may drop. And then we come to the topic of like why dogs will eat meat instead of like other food. You see, if you see dog teeth, they are for crushing bone and for eating meat. They are not like us. You look at our teeth, we are basically a vegetarian. We are more a vegetarian than dogs. Maybe we need a bit of meat. We still have the canine, but our molar are made for grinding vegetable, fruits, grains, and we are not really that meat eater, not really a meat eater.
Yeah.
But if you see dog's teeth, they are for meat, for bone even, they are crushing like that, and they are for bone. And also you have the canine to kill an animal, and then this will be the natural way of feeding a dog. If you see a cow teeth, they are like this. That's why cow cannot bite you, because they need to grind the grass. So this is how the teeth, the teeth are. So cow are like that. So that's why they can digest grass and make it into protein they need and survive.
Yeah, and we see that when a wolf, they hunt a deer, they're not eating their bone and meat only. They're also eating the inner part, like organ. So that's the reason why we need to put so many ingredients in the BARF diet. Yeah.
That's why it's not just meat and bone.
Yes.
It's something else. And also, why bone? Just now we talk about raw
bone. Yes.
Raw bone contain glucosamine, collagen, calcium, and a lot of minerals.
Yes.
They need it in the diet. Dogs need it in the diet. You see the teeth, they are really a bone eater.
Yes.
Then if you compare that to our diet, we can't eat bone, but we can make bone soup. We can make soup from bone. So if you boil soup from bone, you're taking the nutrients from the bone.
Yeah, like human usually like at home, like our mother, they use a bone like to boil the soup. That's the theory that we want to get the nutrient like calcium and mineral from the soup. So for dog, actually they are want to get from the raw bone. So our theory is like actually by right it should be give like the whole chunk of the bone together with the meat and some veggie. But some small dog, they cannot really chew. Yes.
So our BARF diet is actually grind it very fine, and then it will not cause any problem. It shouldn't cause any issue. Yes. You shouldn't be choking on the food. Okay, but it may appear in the X-ray. This morning we just get a question saying that our food, a vet say that in the X-ray say the bone is in the intestine. If you're eating our food, because our food contain bone, and if the food is already become poo, it will appear like a bone in the X-ray, because X-ray can only see bone and also metal. They cannot see plastic, also they cannot see cloth. Yeah. So based on that, if you let the dog poo and take the X-ray again, you won't see anything. You will be clear. Okay, this is something we just had this morning. Someone asked the person.
So that's why our BARF diet, we are not only putting in those like meat and bone, we're also putting in like variety type of the vegetables and fruit. We try to put in different color of the vegetable and fruit. It's like to provide different vitamins, and so that they have the antioxidant vitamins.
We believe in whole food concept. That means like whole chicken, whole duck, and whole animal. Like in human diet, we see in the supermarket a lot of it is like we get this powder mixed with this powder and make into a food. Yeah. But by right, we human and dogs need whole food. Yeah. The example would be an orange and a vitamin C tablet. Orange will contain vitamin C plus other nutrients. But if you're taking a vitamin C tablet, you are only getting vitamin C. So whole food is still better. It's a more rounded nutrients. We have contain more rounded nutrients. In our food, we have different veggie, and then like from dark green to light green.
Like green papaya, pumpkin.
A little bit of garlic
Yeah.
and all that. And then we also include microgreens.
Yeah, sprout. These are our own.
This is actually wheatgrass. And then when a seed that sprout into a plant, the nutrients on the seed will be transferred into the plant, and if we eat it, this will be all the nutrients of the seed. So it's very important to get some sprouts and microgreens.
This is more digestible green for dogs and cats. And sprout and microgreen actually they have like more than like 10 to 100 times nutrition compared to adult plants, and they also can help dog to boost immune system, to prevent diseases. Yes, so they have many. But it's a superfood, and we call it powerhouse of nutrition.
And then also, many of you probably feed veggie to your dogs, but sometimes they pull out veggie. Then you let's say give them carrot, and then the carrot will pass up in the poo.
You can see the carrot. Yes.
Why is that so? Because dogs don't have the ability to break down cellulose. So can dog actually eat veggies? The whole story is like this. Wolf will eat half digested grass from a deer's stomach. So this is how they get the greens from. So if you were to feed our dogs carrot and all that, you probably need to grind it, or you can steam it. So then only then they can
break down the cellulose.
Then only they can.
Dog can digest better. Yeah.
Okay.
So we grind until like to blend it to put into our diet.
So we include all that into our diet. It's not just meat and bone. It's a lot of ingredients that we put in, and we have whole egg. That means
including eggshell. So because like when customer they buy our product and then they ask us why you got eggshell inside.
So basically the idea is if you have protein, you need minerals to balance. This is also available with a human diet. Let's say you are taking meat, you need mineral balance, but you're taking egg, they need the shell also to balance it. So in nature, actually nothing go to waste. They eat the whole thing. So this is the whole theory. So we put in the whole egg. Yeah. We try to make sure you don't see the
eggshell. We try to grind it very small.
When we first started, we always have people complaining about the eggshell, but actually it's nutritious for the dog. The eggshell is actually important for dogs.
Yeah, they can really digest and absorb the nutrient from the eggshell. Let's say they really pass through to their poo. So if let's say you see the eggshell in their poo, probably they don't need
it. That's why they pass it on.
Yes.
Okay, then we are talking about one thing very important is essential amino acid. Essential amino acid are amino acid that your body cannot synthesize. You need it from the food. So most of the essential amino acid needed by dogs are available in meat and organ meat. So it's less in plants. Okay, so for example, our food is gluten free. Have you heard of gluten? Gluten is actually a protein complex. If you see some dog food, you will put wheat gluten or corn gluten. Gluten is actually a protein complex. What it does is actually it replaces meat portion, so the cost will be less. However, not all dogs can digest gluten properly. Some dogs have hard time digesting, but some don't have problem at all. So our food definitely don't contain
gluten, filler, grain, wheat, preservative, coloring, and flavoring. We try to make it as natural as possible.
We need preserve by freezing only. And then touch a bit on the filler. Filler is actually made from fiber of a plant. And the more fiber and the more filler in the food, the food will actually expand more in the stomach. So this work for bigger dog, but may not work for a smaller dog. So our food definitely no filler. That means what you get is what it is. We don't make it extra big so that it fill out the volume. So our food is definitely no filler.
Yeah. So this is very important for the food. Our food is without gluten, filler, grain, and wheat. Yeah. So of course, like since this is all the ingredients very natural. So what is the benefit can like feeding BARF diet? What is the key
Okay,
benefit?
the main thing for feeding raw food is probably the first thing you notice, the skin and coat will become better within a month. It probably will be, the new hair will be better, the skin will improve in a while. It is possibly due to the essential amino acid that is available in raw food, and also the collagen that is available in the bone, that is preparing the skin and coat and make the coat better and the skin better. And this is probably the first thing you'll see within a month. Then the second thing that you see is the poo. The poo is actually smaller, less smelly, and actually drier. It's easy to clean up, and then it wouldn't stick on your floor. If your dog poo in an apartment, you probably wouldn't be as serious as you know on your previous food. If on raw food or BARF diet, it shouldn't be so smelly. It's actually very dry, very easy to clean up. And then also, our food will not expand in the stomach, as I tell you just now. It's like a hydrated food. It will not expand in the stomach, so it's better for the stomach and easier for them to digest and absorb. That's why the poo is smaller.
And less odor.
Yeah, it's less odor.
And actually, this BARF diet actually is very easy for you to maintain your dog body weight. Let's say your dog is like very fat or overweight, you can actually feed 2%. For adult dog, you can try to feed 2%, and then you slowly adjust the feeding amount.
So someone asked about my dog's leg is not very, can this help? Okay, raw food is not like a medicine. It's not a medicine that it can like cure your dog, but it may be able to help your dog improve his body by giving them natural food and let the body heal itself and see whether it can improve or not. But we never it's not a medicine. It need time to work, and then it need time to adjust the food, and then you probably will see result in a few months time, and instead of like immediately.
Yes. And Milk Lao say, can I add extra eggshell powder to your food?
Actually, you don't need to, because it's actually enough calcium. It's enough calcium. You don't really need to add any eggshell powder inside. And then also, our food is actually good for the immune system. If let's say your dog has got mange issue, yeast issue, probably it's due to immune system. If you feed raw food, in a few months time, you'll probably see the improvement, because it will help with the immune system because of the essential amino acid that is available in raw food. And also,
Helena Tan dropped a question: is that okay for me to add in some pumpkin? As you mentioned, you already got pumpkin in, because I found that she had to pull out.
This morning also we had the same question from a customer saying that the poo is too hard, and then the dog cannot poo. And this may happen in a small breed. You can add steamed pumpkin into the food,
or yogurt,
or
plain
yogurt. These two can help with the pooping. You know, sometimes a smaller breed may be a bit hard to poo with our raw food, but it actually is a process. If the poo is hard, it's actually very good for the anal gland. It actually helps the anal gland. You know, the anal gland is something you have to press out during your bathing. But this is because the poo is soft. That's why the anal gland is impacted. If you have hard poo, it will help the anal gland to massage it, and then it will then drain the anal gland.
Very natural. They will like to help them to
Wolf Society, you don't have time to go and press the anal gland. They will do it themselves. Basically, the poo will help it, and then also they will rub its buttock on the grass and all that.
Okay, so now we go into the feeding amount. Like we saw many questions yesterday and today, like how much should they feed for their dog? Let's say they want to serve BARF diet to their dogs. Okay, so actually for feeding guys, like for dogs below 1 year old, we are considered is a puppy. So you can feed about 3 to 6%, but most puppy we are encouraged to feed 6% of the body weight. For adult dog which is 1 year old and above, usually you can feed 2 to 4% of the body weight.
Most dogs, adult dogs are on 3%. If you have a very obese dog, then you can go for 2%. And if you have a very thin dog, maybe you can try 4%. That's how you adjust the amount. And for puppy, if some toy breed will stop growing about 8 to 10 months, they will stop growing, and then they don't need 6% anymore. You can actually reduce the amount of food to about 4%, and as an adult, usually it's about 3% of the body weight should be enough. And
Janice is there enough carbohydrate in your food for dog which is doing dog sport like agility and freebie.
Okay. We don't have starch in our don't have carbohydrates in our food because as I tell you, our concept is dogs don't have long-acting amylase, so they don't digest starch so well. So our fat content is actually how they get the energy from. For BARF diet is basically the fat that is helping the energy level, and also the natural meat is not so much the starch that is helping the energy.
Okay. Elaine Ong is question is is it safe to add kibble with their meal?
That's why I say don't mix them together. You can feed them separately. It's fine. Yes. Don't mix them together. Then if you want best result is to feed 100%. And then just now Peter asked about bone content. Percentage.
Yeah, percentage of bone.
We use whole animal, for example, whole chicken. So whatever bone is inside, we grind everything inside. But basically we only can test the calcium phosphorus ratio. That is more important than how much bone to give. In the whole food concept, we are not breaking them apart. We are putting them together as it is. So we don't go by the percentage of how much bone and how much meat.
So our Hing question is, okay, does this mean the groomer no need to press the anal gland anymore?
No. In modern days, dogs, you need to press the anal gland. I'm just saying that it will help. Will help and less likely to get infected. Sometimes the anal gland will get infected, and then it will expand like this. Because sometimes like during MCO, maybe a lot of dogs didn't go to groomer. So no groomer go and press it out for them. So they may be impacted very big. So if they have hard poo, probably it will help a bit.
Yeah, like our dog, like let's say like we will notice like if they consume raw food, the anal gland is like.
But actually, in our own dogs, we notice we seldom need to press it out as much as previously when we are on other food.
Okay, mini bento size easy for me prepare for my This our later we will show you our new launch mini bento pack. Is very convenient for small dog. So thank you for your support and.
So like okay, we probably touched we're talking about eggshell. Okay, eggshell you don't need to add lah. You don't need to add. And then later we'll touch on the question. We quickly go into the safe handling of our food.
Food, yes.
Okay, very important is that our food is totally without preservatives, so you have to be stored in the freezer definitely. So how do you defrost? Basically, the best way is to bring it out to the fridge level for a few hours. Then cut them into the portion you need and store them in the freezer, and only defrost the portion you need every time. That will be the safest way. So dogs, if you portion it already, it should melt very fast if you take it out from the freezer. Or if you are worried about it's too cold, you can actually defrost it overnight in the fridge. Overnight.
Yes.
Then the morning is actually very soft, so it should be no problem. That also depends on how cold your freezer is. So it actually depends on that too. Yeah. And then we now have want to introduce our packing. Actually, we have this mini bento that just before MCO we launched it, but it's not everywhere yet. It's basically the 300-gram one is divided into 4 75-gram portions. So this will be very good for
small breed dog or puppy.
So for example, if you are feeding a Pomeranian, probably this will be enough. 175 will be enough for a day. Yes. Okay, you have a Shih Tzu that is 5 kg, you probably need 150 gram a day. So this will be 2 cubes per day. Should be enough, one for morning and one for night. So you can cut it with a scissor and serve it later on. So it's very hygienic. So we try to make it hygienic as possible for you to handle, and also convenient for you to handle raw food. That's why we invested in this packing. And then this tray is actually food grade. Food grade, and then it will stand freezing and all that. It will not have any issue with chemicals and all that. So it's very a lot more convenient than those days when we first started. And then we have it for all the recipes.
Yeah, we have 6 recipes, so this one also applicable for all the 6 recipes. And if you have bigger dog, you can still use our 1 kg. So 1 kg pack each portion is 250 grams, so you can see. So each portion is 250 grams. So if you have bigger dog, like let's say for a golden or maybe for a husky,
let's say you have husky, like, most husky is on like 2 cubes a day, so one for morning and one for night. Then if you have a German Shepherd, maybe you need 3 cubes a day. Depends on the size of the dog. So basically for adults, it's about 3% of the body weight. So this will make handling of food a lot easier, raw food a lot easier compared to those days. The mini bento, we have it in all 6 recipes. So Li Ping, Classic, mini bento, what flavor? We have it for all the flavor. Okay, so now we can start answering your question, and then we will.
My dog has been on BARF diet for 10 days already, and he still cannot accept the fruit unless I add small bit of his kibble. He still cannot accept the raw food. Yeah, because our raw food actually is preservative. There's no flavoring at all, and we didn't put in like any additive into the food. So some dog may need some time to adjust.
Then it may need time to get used to the smell, and then if your dog actually maybe you asked me before on this also. Did I ask you about deworming? If you are already dewormed, then shouldn't be the worm causing the appetite problem. Then you can continue to try. It may need some time because dogs like to smell things. Our food definitely no artificial flavoring, so it's more natural.
26 kg. 26 kg you can use 20. Let's say it's an adult dog, then you can use the 26 kg. Times 2%, so you can fit within the range. Actually, our website we have a calculator which you can help you to calculate. If you go into our website, the feeding guide, then you put in your dog body weight and your dog age, then the system will help you to calculate the minimum and maximum amount for your dog to serve on the day. So you just use the calculation and you divide the portion into 2 meals. But usually for adult dog you can feed 1 meal a day, but you need to feed sufficient amount. If you want to feed 2 meals, you can split the amount to 2 meals.
So for a 26 kg dog, probably you need 3 cubes of the 1 kg. So it's like 750 grams a day.
Jen, question: you can ship to Sarawak?
We still can't ship to Sarawak
at the moment.
Because we are working on it. Because Sarawak is very strict. Like Singapore is also very strict for raw food. So we need a lot of paperwork to get to there.
Okay, wiping. How do you guys maintain the cold chain along the transportation and also during the black off and at the pet shop? So usually it did happen. So if let's say the black off within few hours, usually our freezer we use is the label brand freezer. Let's say the black off is only about few hours. The freezer, let's say we don't open the glass door, it can last for few hours.
So we invest in that freezer. The freezer actually costs us 2,000, almost 2,000 per freezer. It's not those simple freezer. It actually can maintain the coldness for almost up to 8 hours if you have no power.
Usually we will ask the owner to check the stock. Let's say there's a black off like 1 night or 1 day. So usually we'll check the stock. Let's say we notice the stock is like spoiled already. So either it's we will exchange.
But what we do is you need, as long as don't open the door, it should be
the freezer
should be safe.
And the transportation is like we have our own cold chain transportation to Johor and Penang. So usually we use cold chain transportation to North and South. And we also putting in, even we have a cold chain truck, we also putting in the foam box.
And then if actually we experimented before, if you put in a foam box at room temperature, actually it can stand for 24 hours. If you wrap it nicely, it should last 24 hours at least, and it's not melt at all.
Right.
Elaine like it like monster.
So do you still have any question now? I think we can like go into our Q&A section. You can ask any question about raw food, about BARF diet. I deworm already.
Then if let's say we are talking about variation in different breeds, let's say the requirement for raw food. If you have a husky is made to work a lot and then they eat very little. This is the breed they are bred to be fuel efficient. So husky usually eat less food, but they work a lot, they run a lot. So usually for husky, for 2% to maybe a bit 2.5% will be enough for a husky. They don't really need that much food.
Yes.
And then some husky owners will say, oh, my husky don't have appetite. This is because husky need a lot of exercise, and then you need to run them a lot to make them feel hungry, and then also they don't eat that much. And also if it is hot, husky usually don't eat. So this is one of the few things we want to touch, because we usually have husky that has got no appetite. The next one that got no appetite will probably be poodle. Poodle, they have very small stomach. So if you're feeding them a lot of treats or something that can expand in the stomach, for example, certain biscuit you put water, it may expand your stomach. So poodle will feel full, then they don't want to eat.
Yes.
And then poodle are pretty smart. They really can, if you have treats around, they probably will monopolize you to give them the treats instead of the real food, the normal food.
Yeah.
So but those poodles switch to our food has improved on the appetite. They actually perform better. I mean, they eat better. They will be hungrier in a way. So it's actually good for them. And then Daniel asked about corgi.
Yes.
Corgi is also another breed we need to talk about.
Small eater.
Corgi is actually very smart dog. They are working they are actually working herding dog. But do you know corgi? Why a corgi is short and then it's not tall and then it's a herding dog? It's because corgi is not for sheep. It's for cattle. So if a lower dog will miss the hood of the cattle, when the cow kick, it will not. The corgi will miss the corgi, will pass by, and then corgi will bite the heel and then make the cow or the herd move. So that's why corgi is a working dog. So it's the same as husky. They need to exercise a lot, and they don't eat very much. In those days, hunters or farmers don't have so much food for their dogs, so they breed them to be fuel efficient, and then breed them to be working for them.
So electing question is, I used to add coconut oil in the kibbles for nicer coat. So do I need to add coconut oil into bath?
Yeah, you can add coconut oil, no problem. You can add, because coconut oil is actually very good for skin coat, but too much of it may cause diarrhea. So you just have to go slow. If your dog is used to it, it's fine, but don't overdose on it also. But just enough should be okay. And then Judy say that how often should we rotate the protein? It's up to you. It's fine. And it's like you can do it like daily, or even after you finish one pack and the next pack use another flavor. It's fine. It's totally no problem. We encourage you to rotate. The reason we encourage you to rotate is because wolf in the wild will take different protein every day. So you need to rotate for them. It's best to rotate for them. Yes. We want to mimic the way they eat in the wild. And this applies to us also. We shouldn't be on the same food every day. We should be rotating our
the food like we do. Didn't eat like chicken every day. So sometimes we also try to eat fish and other food so that you can get different protein and different nutrients.
You may say husky should be fed only 2%. Is you try when they reach 1 year old, you try about 2% to 3%. And if you exercise your husky a lot, then you can go up to 3 point something. Is fine. They probably will feel hungry if you exercise them a lot. Maybe on Monday you can actually jog your dog already. Now they just announced that we can take our dogs out, or we can go jogging. So that means we can take our dog out. I haven't been taking my dogs out, so from Monday I'll be very busy walking them.
So just now all our cover is more on the dogs. Like I saw some of the Singy is a cat owner. Maybe we'll touch about a little bit about cat. Like raw food actually is also very important for cat, especially cat need the taurine. Taurine is a very sensitive amino acid that we can find in the meat and also organ, in the raw meat and organs. Let's say we cook the meat already or organ, the taurine will be gone. So taurine actually, there's a cat is the only animals that cannot synthesize the taurine from itself.
So just now we talk about essential amino acid. Cats cannot synthesize taurine, and then if they don't have taurine in their diet, they can die from it.
Yeah, either it's heart issue, eyes issue, or cannot reproduction of the.
So that's why cats need to have food that with taurine. Our cat recipe has got tested our taurine level, so you don't have to worry about. And then
I realized the premium recipe, the texture is a bit compared to the others?
A bit cost compared to others. Actually, we grind it the same way, but it may appear that way. Our outlet is the same for every recipe. The grinders is the same outlet, but the ingredients is different. The rabbit bone is a bit different from. We'll use the whole rabbit, so it's a bit different from other ingredients. So it may look that way, and then we use mackerel instead of our normal sardine or other fish. So we use mackerel for the rabbit.
So every recipe, maybe the texture will be a bit different due to the texture of the meat itself. Okay. So and Danny Kun suggest do a FAQ for new customer to know. But actually we have this
it in our
website.
If you click on our website, this website.
We have a Chinese version and English version FAQ. FNQ, sorry. FNA. Yeah. Any meat also can if your dog don't have allergy to any meat we encourage to rotate the recipe.
Is it okay to give cooked food in the morning and bath? It's fine. As I tell you, if you cook for your dogs in the morning and give our bath at night, it's totally fine. No issue at all. But for the first few days when you start our bath diet, you need to get him adjusted to raw first. That means give it as a treat first, then slowly replace one meal, then should be no problem at all.
Yeah, serve at room temperature should be okay.
You repeat again just now. Okay. What did
Any other question?
What did I repeat?
No, like this.
To
what food allergy my
2.5 months sausage. What?
So what is the safest flavor to start with him? Okay. So Julissa,
is your puppy allergic to food already or something?
No, she has no idea what kind of the food it causes allergy.
Okay, you need to test it out.
But you can try our duck recipe first. Actually, our duck recipe is a normal protein and single source protein. So usually for those dog with sensitive issue, you can start with duck recipe. But for long run, you can still rotate the recipe. Like you can try one by one the recipe. You can slowly introduce other recipe.
Our products, someone asked about where can we get our products. Our products are available in 160 pet shop in Peninsula Malaysia. You can actually go anywhere. Let's say in PJ, you can actually buy in SS2, you can get in One Utama Mall, you can actually get in the Sabah City.
Yeah, we have also some online pet shop which can help us to do delivery to your house. In Klang Valley or in Johor Bahru or in Penang.
This is run by the individual people in Johor and Penang. Then
I start all flavor except rabbit meat, just
can't bear. My sister also don't like the rabbit recipe. She thinks that I'm very cool to use the rabbit recipe. But some dogs need it, so that's why we do it.
Yeah, actually, if you want to find out where is our dealer location, actually you can go our website. We have one function is called store locator. So you can just put in your location and then it will appear all the outlet near to you. So you can easy to find and all their address, their logo, you can see all around you. Okay. So we try to make our website is very friendly. So like you can find many things in our website. But let's say something you cannot find, you can always inbox us.
You can inbox us anytime, and we usually get back to you within a day. But if we miss it, please message us again. We will do our best to answer all the questions.
And after MCO, will you still do home delivery? Yes. Besides, after MCO, we just now we mentioned that we have online pet shop in maybe Klang Valley or like in JB. Some of the pet shop they also can do delivery to customer.
Okay. Then maybe we repeat something about our food. Our food is totally no preservative, all natural, no gluten, no filler. So it's something that is very natural for dogs. And also, why raw is because of the natural enzyme that maybe is in the raw food that can help dogs to digest better, less stressful to the body. And we have usually we have a lot of questions every day, and then if we can't answer you by texting, we'll call you and explain. So if you have any issue, you can message us anytime, and then we actually have a hotline on our WhatsApp, our website there. You can actually click and message us and also or call us.
Yes. So wings, Leo, what is the difference of the flavor? Is it got different function? So actually the no different function is like just like we want to provide different protein source and nutrient for dogs and cats. So you can try to rotate the recipe like different meat, they have different protein source. Okay.
Then Lo say, can I add fruits inside the food? We already have enough vegetables and fruits inside. So if you think you need to add a bit more, it's fine too. It won't offset it much, but do keep it like below 20%. It shouldn't be more than 20% because we already have like 20% vegetables inside our food.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Then sorry, I'm very short that I cannot see.
Okay. Guo Shao, if my dog didn't allergic to chicken but her skin no so good, is it she still can eat chicken recipe?
About chicken, okay, I need to explain about chicken is sometimes a lot of people confuse why chicken can cause allergy.
Yes.
Okay, it's not that chicken causing allergy. Some dogs are really allergic to chicken, but most of the time it's because chicken don't have enough omega-3 in them. So when a dog is having inflammation, let's say in Chinese we say hiti, that means your body is going to have inflammation. So we need omega-3 to balance the inflammation. Omega-3 reduces inflammation, omega-6 increases the inflammation. So it actually go in a balance. You need omega-3 and omega-6 to work together to have that balance. So an example for omega-6 will be peanut oil, or peanut will have a lot of omega-6, not omega-3. So if you eat a lot of peanut, you probably have like sore throat, you feel like you're going to have sore throat already. That means you are going to have inflammation. If you take omega-3, it probably balances the whole thing, and then you will not have any inflammation.
Yes.
So when a dog is going to have inflammation, let's say his skin is irritated and all that, and you take chicken, and chicken is not, they don't have enough omega-3, then probably cause inflammation. So we have inflammation. So then that's why it's not true most of the time, but sometimes dogs are really allergic to chicken, but you need to test it out to know.
But the most important thing I think still is the calcium and phosphorus ratio. Yeah, because we're testing every recipe the calcium and phosphorus ratio, so to ensure that it will
be balanced. Because if you're feeding only meat alone, the phosphorus is actually high and not enough calcium to balance it. And then if you look online, if let's say high phosphorus will cause irritation of the skin also. So that could be a lot of reason why your a dog is having a skin issue. It could be the environment also, and we actually see a lot of contact allergy. The contact allergy usually is in the bottom of the dog. Let's say for example, the chest area, the buttock area, and the feet. This is where they put on the ground and then they sleep on. It is important to test out the things you use on the floor, because dogs are on the floor most of the time, and contact allergy is something very common actually instead of food allergy. So if in our weather, if you leave your dog on the cement floor or wet or something like that, probably it will cause a lot of irritation. And then in the food, that if they don't have enough omega-3, they probably have cause inflammation, and then this is how the skin issues start to to
develop the skin issue. Yes.
So we need to see what issue your dog is having. Owners are very important to identify all this. Sometimes we bring it to the vet and say, oh, here it is, you help me solve the problem. The doctor probably will not able to tell you what it is unless you tell them the whole story. Because sometimes when I see photos of dogs customers send to us, I say the dog is like this and they have this skin problem. I ask them, where do they sleep? If they sleep outside in the porch on the cement floor, this will probably happen because it is contact allergy. It may be sensitive to cement, and the floor may be wet, and bacteria may be growing, you know. So this is a thing about contact allergy. And also some dogs are allergic to the soap powder we use on their bed.
Or the detergent, or the floor detergent. Yeah.
So this thing can happen.
So just now, be loud. Any new recipe coming soon? Yeah, we are working on it.
Oh yeah, we're actually working on it before
the
the MCO. Then suddenly we have MCO, so we have to stop everything because we need to send for testing and all that. So it take a bit of time.
Yeah.
So but anyway, we are fortunate enough we can still get raw ingredients to make our food. So we are fortunate to have this able to produce during this MCO.
And just now Jason asked, is your chicken got omega-6? No, chicken meat itself is omega-3 and 6. Just like the balance of the meat itself, the omega-6 is higher than the
chicken has got higher omega-6
compared to omega-3. Yes.
In general, omega-3 just need a little bit. Omega-6 is like this. It's like a lot more omega-6 and a lot less omega-3 in most diet. So when you have inflammation, you need more omega-3 to balance it.
Yeah. And usually like people know the benefit of omega-3, but people don't know the function. What is the function of omega-6?
Okay, for omega-6 is for you to inflame. That means immune response. If let's say you have an infection, you need to respond to it. You need omega-6 to respond to the infection. So it's, for example, maybe if you get coronavirus, you probably need omega-6 to react to it instead of omega-3.
Yes.
I'm just saying lah, I'm not sure lah. And then what else?
Shirley, my dog vomiting and diarrhea this few days after consulted to vet asked to stop raw diet for few days. Can I steam the bath diet and make it cold? Okay.
Okay, you see, if let's say your dog is having diarrhea and stomach problem, is it due to the freshness of the product, or it could be something else? Because sometimes we have 25 dogs in our house, and just one dog will have diarrhea or vomiting. Just one dog, probably
even feeding the same food. Yes.
He probably pick it up from playing in the garden, or they bite something and then they have vomiting and all that. So what you do is you observe whether, first thing is you observe whether the pack got problem or not, because sometimes if they defrost wrongly or the pack has been compromised, the freshness has been compromised, then you just have to see whether got defrost around the packing or not. If no, that means if the pack is okay, then it shouldn't be a problem. Even sometimes when after defrosting shouldn't be a problem, but certain dogs are a bit sensitive, so you watch out for that first. The second thing you should do is give them the medication to help with the stomach, the vomiting and the diarrhea. Then if you want to really cook it, maybe you can try. It's actually okay for a short while, but not for a long run.
Yes. Because we don't encourage people
to cook, but it's okay for a short while. It's fine because the bone we grind is actually very fine. You don't even affect the dog if you cook it.
Yeah, but because if you cook it, then the nutrient and will destroy the nutrient and enzyme in the food. So for long run, we still encourage to feed the raw food, because dog digestive system are able to digest the raw food and absorb the nutrient from the raw food. Yeah. This is also the purpose why we want to serve raw to dogs.
Then in meantime, but will be 6% guide to.
And this is the feeding guide.
For puppies is 6%.
Yeah, thank you for helping us to answer. Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
Then we
I think many of you also will be like yesterday. There's some customer, they will ask, what is the difference between fish oil and coconut oil? If I feed fish oil, do I still need to feed coconut oil?
That's why it's different thing. Coconut oil doesn't contain omega-3. Fish oil contains omega-3, so the difference is that. And coconut oil contains short-chain fatty acid that may help easier for dog to absorb actually. Then fish oil is another story. It's totally different thing, and also it contains omega-3, which is important in the dog's diet. You can give both. You may not need to give it two same day. You can give an alternate day.
Yes. So Huiling, my dog Schnauzer, senior, allergic to chicken, got skin problem, overweight, and lack of few teeth only. When I give pellet, I have to soak in the hot water, then only let him eat. Okay, so our buff diet actually, if you defrost until they thaw, so it will turn very soft. So actually, it's good for dog with lesser teeth, so they can also easy to consume. Yeah.
But for a very senior dog, you need to start it really slow. That means you give it as a treat first, then you slowly replace 1 meal, then slowly replace 2 meals. Don't go immediately into it because the stomach acid is a bit alkaline for a dog that has been on kibbles. Then they need time to adjust to raw food. And then we have the oldest we convert is actually 14 years old. Was a 14 years old Shih Tzu, and he changed it with no problem at all. So I'm sure a senior dog can be fed raw, but just need a bit of time to change it over. And our food is really soft. Actually, we have been our oldest now is 17, so she had got no teeth also, so she's eating the food okay without a problem.
So Ling Ping question, which flavor got bad smell? So actually this is very subjective to the dog. Like we have like many customer dog like the lamb, but some they don't like the fish, but it depends the dog actually. So different meat itself that have like different tests.
We do encourage you to rotate. Then Judy,
is there anything to help picky eater to raw diet?
Picky eaters, we have a lot of picky eaters. And then but picky eaters, like in our house we don't have picky eaters because if they don't take it, they have to wait for the next meal. We don't have time to wait for them, so we will clean up the plate and then they have to wait another 12 hours for another the round. So in our house, usually if they don't eat, probably they are sick, they have something on, that's why they don't eat. Then, but to train a dog to eat food, given especially our food is actually a hydrated food. It's not like biscuit where if you take in too much and you add water, it may be expanding the stomach. So our food don't do that. It is more natural, so it shouldn't become picky after a while. Probably you need to change the what do you call that, the different recipe, or you can try the amount. Just go for 3% of the body weight, or cut down to 2% for a very picky. Just cut down to 2%, then see how it goes.
Oh, since I think just now we overlooked your question. For indoor cats, will 3% be too much for them? I scare they will be overweight because all this while I give them 2%, but today I started to give them 3%.
Cats you can give 3%, is fine. Then you see if they get overweight, then you just cut, you just reduce. That's all. That's why it's very easy to give raw diet to maintain the body weight. Is just adjust the percentage of food.
Very far. Usually, like after you adjusted, normally you can see within a week the body.
Normally, a cat on buff diet shouldn't be very fat one, because we have 14 cats at home, and then all of them are quite lean. I mean, they are not really fat cat, but they are very muscular, and they are quite lean and with a lot of muscle.
So Bahing Bear, how much and 2 years old German Shepherd dog
per meal. German Shepherd dog usually is about 25 to 35, or some even go up to 40 kg. So depend on the weight of the dog. We suggest you to feed 3% for a very active dog. So let's say your German Shepherd is 25 kg, you probably need 750 grams. If your German Shepherd is 30 kg, probably you need 900 grams a day.
So Ling Ping Cha need to continue Apokel.
Okay, you need to continue Apokel, because once you start Apokel, you just need to see whether the food work or not. Go together first, the food with Apokel for a while, then you reduce the dose or stop Apokel and see whether it still got reaction or not. If it still got reaction, that means the dog is allergic to something in the food. Then you may need to do the allergy test. Then we can do a special customized recipe for you.
So Natasha, they say kibbles good for dogs' teeth when they chew the keyboards? Will it need to specially buy chew if my dog is on
Okay, the thing about chewing keyboards actually depends on the brand or depends on the thing in the food. It may not be true 100% because sometimes certain food may contain a lot of starch where if the dog chew on it, the teeth actually the food actually got stuck on the teeth. Our food is definitely less chances for them to get stuck on the teeth because it's raw. It's easier for them to digest and to consume and to go down to the body, to the stomach. But if you want to play safe, you can actually use wholesome to rub on the teeth every day, and then you can give them chew toy, like say a chew toy like for them to chew. That's all you need. You don't really need to give them extra things. Chew toys and our food and wholesome probably will be it. And then originally when we first started doing this raw food, we actually give our dogs the whole chunk with the bone and meat together, so they chew. So if now we grind already, it's soft, so less chances for them to chew. So you need to give them a bit of toy if possible, and or give them quite frozen. When they play with the ice cube, they can actually bite and play with the ice cube, so they can exercise the teeth that way. That's why we actually want to say that some of you can try it frozen, and then some dogs may chew on it and exercise the teeth.
Okay, so backing back, when changed from cooked food to raw food, to experience vomiting, is it normal?
Less likely to experience vomiting from if you
cook food to raw food
because the stomach is already adjusted to a more natural way of digesting than other food lah. So that's why on cooked food to our food is easier than from other food to our food.
So anyhow, my question very simple. Can we get it in East Malaysia? Yeah, we are working on it, but due to MCO.
We try. We plan to do it this year, but now I think it's delayed. It's going to be delayed, and then we need
some time.
Something we hope by beginning of next year we can do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your sharing. Yeah, actually, this is our second live
we have never done live broadcast before,
yeah.
even for private thing,
yeah.
And then but we think that we should do this one for
very frequent. Even we have many topic want to share with you guys, but sometimes in the event like too many people, too crowded, and then like we have no enough time to share with you like for one topic. Yeah, like maybe after this we will share with you like microgreen, just how to grow.
We probably can teach you how to grow
microgreens
and all microgreens for your pet or for yourself. And probably another time we will do one to teach you how to grow this.
Yes.
Maybe a short 1.5 an hour to teach you how to grow wheatgrass. This will be good for human and for dogs too, and for cats.
Yes.
And actually it's not that difficult. We use our recycled tray to do. That means our Coco and Joe.
So our tray also can use to do recycle, and then we use to plant the wheatgrass and all the microgreen and sprout. Okay.
So we can do another topic on that.
And all like yesterday many customer were asking like why didn't cover the cat one. Yeah, probably we will do another topic. Live broadcast only talk about the cat one. Okay.
Because sometimes it's a bit hard to talk two together, and then you'll get confused. Because cats is a bit different from dog.
Yeah, because cat actually is like very typical carnivores. So like compared to dogs, it's like they have a carnivore behavior, herbivores.
Dogs is a bit with carnivore with omnivorous ability. That means they can digest grass and all that, a bit of greens. But cats are really obligate carnivore. That means they don't really need greens so much, but maybe they need about 5% of fiber in the diet. That's all. They don't really need as much green as dogs.
So what's up? We'll be live until what time? Yeah, I think we are going to
end soon. So but if you have more questions, we can continue to ask.
We will be our live will until 10. Because yesterday we do until 10:30, but I think too long already.
So we'll fall asleep.
So I think today we still have like 5 minutes left lah. So if let's say you have any question, you can still ask now. So we will close at 10 p.m. later.
You can continue to ask us questions. We can continue to answer you, and then and also some topic you want us to cover in the next round.
Yeah, you
this
can
is
also
this Buff
message
Talk
us, yeah.
1.0. We can touch on other topic also,
Yes.
or maybe a specific topic you want us to talk. We can actually do
Yeah,
that.
you just inbox us so we can prepare and then we can share with you the new topic. Yeah, maybe we can like only for skin problem or any like for microgreens.
Elaine say how much weight your dog lose on the diet. I say if you have an overweight dog, go for 2% of the diet. That's all. You try 2%, and then you see them losing weight already, then you can go back to like 3% and maintain it that way. If you see like growing fat again, you can reduce some more. But most of the time we find that it's because of other food that is causing the dog to gain weight. That means your treats. Some people are worried the dog is not eating enough, you know. Then this morning also we have this one customer asked about dog vomiting like yellow bowel out
Liquid,
liquid after when transitioning to our food. This can happen because our food is actually no filler. It will not expand in the stomach. So it's a lot less food than normally your dog accustomed
Let's
to.
say the dog already get used to the food with filler, so
you
when
expand
suddenly
in the
they
stomach,
change to raw food, you will expand in the stomach, so they will feel like
Not
maybe
full enough.
not full enough because the stomach already get used to like very full, like that.
So that's why some dog may vomit the bowel up during that 1 month of detoxification, and then but they say
Do you have direct supplier to Penang, not going through agent or sub-agent? Usually because our product is frozen item, so we need a freezer to retail in pet shop and or vet. So usually usually the customer house the freezer is cannot fix like so many.
So for example, we wanted to make it more convenient for people to buy. That's why we place it in different pet shop and different area. That's why even you go to Ipoh now, you go to Taiping now, you go to Johor, Malacca, you go to Batu Pahat, you can still get our products. So you can bring your dog for a holiday and you can get our products anywhere. We want to make it that way because if the freezer we put there is easier for you to buy, safer for you to buy, instead of we have someone delivering or someone distributing on our behalf. We don't and then we don't usually sell directly because we have already got pet shop in every area selling our food.
And some customer will worry about, let's say they already started this bath diet, so after they go to travel, so when the dog go to boarding place, no bath to eat. So actually we have many boarding place is selling our bath diet. So
we have a lot of places selling our food now, like a lot of pet shop is doing that, and then we have 160 pet shops, so you can go to these places to board. And then we have we do training for like boarders. We actually did one for what's the name?
Which one?
The boarding place
in
we do a lot of training for people to teach them how to do our food, how to prepare our food. So there are a lot of boarders actually know how to feed our products. So we have been doing that for the past 7 years. We do a lot of educational thing, and then luckily we actually help a lot of dogs. That's why we have a lot of supporters and people
Thank you so much for
feeding our product. And then during this MCO, actually we were so worried that people will stop using because it's not convenient, but we can see people are still using. They are dying to, they really go and get our product, find the ways to go and stock our product. So we can see that people are really concerned about their dog, really take care about their dogs. But compare maybe to when I was a child, dogs are not so important, but now dogs is really important for everyone.
So I think the time is almost 10 already. So really thank you so much for joining our English section live broadcast today. So your support, we will try to like do more section.
You want any topic, you can actually put below, like certain things like just now I was saying about microgreens. Then our last question, heart problem can take no problem at all, because heart problem has nothing to do with the food. It's usually the heart is having issue. Our food is just a natural food, and probably it is better for heart problem dog because we don't add salt. There is no extra salt and no extra thing to burden the body. And also just now we're talking about enzyme and all that. That will help the dog digest better, so easier on the system. But the most important is start slow, go slow. Don't stress your dog. Like immediately change the food. Just go slow.
Okay, so we will be ending
Ending.
Yeah, so really thank you so much for your support and watching our live broadcast today. So tomorrow night at 30 p.m. we will have a lucky draw. So and thank you so much for helping to share our live broadcast and also our event poster in last 2 days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are really touched with it. Last night we had like how many? 50 over reach, right? 50 over 1,000
Yeah,
reach.
yeah.
So this, I mean, we really thank you for attending our live session.
So we see you tomorrow night. So we will have a lucky draw night. Okay, see you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.